Ever found yourself in that exhilarating moment when you meet someone incredible, the chemistry sparking, yet unsure of how to elevate the connection? Desiring to ignite a spark and create a magnetic pull that leaves them breathless? This video isn't about manipulation or control. It's about understanding the natural elements that evoke excitement and connection. Mastering this art leads to a magic that unfolds effortlessly. Number 10. Be on time. For everything. This might seem like a pretty obvious way to start the video, maybe even redundant. You might be thinking, I already know this. But do you? People think that being on time is a courteous thing to do, and some people are misguided enough to think it's better to be fashionably late. Here's the truth. Being on time for a date sets the tone for what's going to happen later on. It's not just about being a good guy who shows up at the exact time he promised. Sometimes things happen, and you run late. But if you knew the difference timeliness made, you'd hold off on everything else and be there by 6. So what's the big deal with being on time? It shows that you're interested, you can multitask, and you value her time more than anyone else. Being on time is polite, but more than anything, it's also attractive. Women like someone who values them and appreciates the effort a man makes to be there, at the table, waiting for them when they walk in. It's like putting your best foot forward, and she'll thank you for it. Number 9. Hygiene matters so much more than you think. Just like with being on time, you'd think that taking a shower before your date is the polite and respectful thing to do. It's not just that, it's also a golden rule to get her turned on immediately. In this day and age, men treat their dates as just someone they can have a good few hours with, even though they're hoping for so much more. The question is, what more are you doing to set the tone? It doesn't even take much, and that's the upsetting part. Women aren't complex creatures, and it's not like you need a guidebook on what to do to get them to like you. No, you just have to follow a few simple rules, and having great hygiene is one of them. Think of it this way. Would you be turned on by someone sitting across from you who reeks? Or maybe someone you'd planned a date with long ago, but on the day of the date, they showed up looking all shabby? It's clear you wouldn't. Neither should the woman you're out with. Number 8. Know what you want. It's been said time and time again, but men need to hear it one more time. Confidence is key. Women love a man who knows what he wants, be it in their professional or personal life. They sense the enthusiasm and drive inside of you, and that's something that makes you magnetic. They feel more eager to listen to what you're saying with their full attention. They want you to keep talking, and they want more from the date. Self-love is an important aspect of being confident. There's no way you can feign confidence. It's something that's either intrinsic or not, and the only way for you to get there is to be confident in yourself. Trust us, women can tell when you're just faking it. In fact, everyone around you can tell. Women want someone who's assertive, yet polite, and someone who can dictate the course of the day while still valuing their opinion and what they want. There's nothing more attractive than a man who knows what he wants. Number 7. Know your worth. Again, how can you expect someone else to find you attractive and love you when you don't love yourself? You need to know your worth and what you offer, and put a price on that. Maybe one of the reasons why you haven't had much luck with women so far is because you don't exude the energy they're looking for. Women want someone who knows what they're worth, but don't oversell it either. You need to come off as someone who's realistic, yet also confident and strives for a whole lot more. Trust us, it doesn't matter if you're a big guy on Wall Street or someone working as a cashier. What matters at the end of the day is that you know what you have to offer, and you're showing her that she needs to be as actively engaged in this as you are if things are to move forward at all. Number 6. Be a gentleman, not a nice guy. There's a difference between being a nice guy who expects something and being a gentleman who's offered everything he wants. You want to be the gentleman, trust us. The major difference is that nice guys have come to believe that they'll always be treated less than what their other male counterparts are worth. This honestly has nothing to do with them being nice. If anything, it has everything to do with them being needy and desperate. Take this as gospel. Women don't want someone who seems needy, and why would they? A gentleman is someone who offers them the world while still extruding the sort of energy that suggests that if they feel slighted by their date, they'll just walk out. A nice guy, on the other hand, is someone who'll act like they're owed something just because they opened a door or maybe sat you down at the table. In hindsight, it's easy to be polite, and it costs nothing to be a gentleman. The only major difference between being someone she's eager to learn more about and someone she'll block the second she gets home is confidence. Number 5. Have a great sense of humor. It's a misconception that some people are funny and some people aren't. Maybe some people are funnier than others, but everyone has a funny bone. What makes the difference is finding someone who catches your vibe. The honest truth is that women love someone who can make them laugh. Think about it this way. Wouldn't you want to spend more time with someone who makes you giggle? Isn't a laugh the best indicator of how a date's going? Don't you think she'd want the night to go on if you continue this charismatic behavior? See, that's the thing. Being funny can double as being charismatic, because you're not just telling her knock-knock jokes with no context. You're making light of something that's already a part of the conversation, or you're making reference from what she said earlier. Being funny is a weapon when you get it right. Number 4. Honesty is key. There's a difference between being brutally honest and just being honest enough to turn a woman on. Over the years, the nice guys of society have come to believe that being polite will get them nowhere, and the best way to ensure a second date is to be brutally honest, to the point of being disrespectful. This doesn't work. It only works in fiction, and we're here talking about real life. A woman who knows her worth will never be with someone who doesn't treat her right, and the right way to treat someone you're interested in is by being honest and forthcoming. Gone are the days when women like someone who's dark and mysterious. With everything being readily available on the internet or via word of mouth, your best bet is to be upfront about the things you know she'll find out anyway. Don't overdo it with honesty, though. You need to keep some things clouded in mystery. Not too much, though. Just enough for her to come back to you for a second date. Number 3. Compliment her. But don't overdo it. The key to keeping her wanting more and not ghosting you after the first date is to not overdo anything. This means not overdoing it with absolutely anything, from honesty to compliments. When you're complimenting her, make sure you don't come off as someone who's desperate for them to see you as a compatible match. You need to let the vibes come naturally, and you need her to see you as someone who truly wants to be with you. Yes, complimenting her is a great way to get the ball rolling. You tell her a couple of nice things, and she either blushes, giggles, or gives you a compliment back. The whole date, though, shouldn't be this back and forth, or else you'd face a compliment fatigue. Number 2. Talking via body language. Sometimes you don't need to do the talking with words. Your eyes, the way you walk, and the way you graze her shoulder. In other words, your body language does the talking for you. It's important to remember that sometimes women are weary of making the first move after a great first date. They don't know if they should or shouldn't text you asking for a second. It's mostly because they don't want to be embarrassed in case you don't like them back. That's your fault, by the way. You could have guaranteed that she knew you liked her and wanted to spend more time with her with your body language. But you didn't. It could be something small but affirming, like playfully high-fiving, but keeping your hands intertwined for longer. Body language is a lot louder than you think, and you better make good use of it if you want to turn her on. Number 1. The Benjamin Franklin effect. The guy you see on the dollar bills must have done something right to get there, right? Besides the obvious, Benjamin Franklin made use of psychological tricks to make sure that everyone around him valued him and held him in high regard. Today, all his tactics are compressed into the Benjamin Franklin effect. At a glance, it's a subtle way of making everyone else value you by giving them small tasks to do for you over time. They can be really minute things, like maybe handing you a spoon, drafting an email, or anything within that category. Eventually, the other person starts to believe that they have to be there for you. They see you as a powerful person who has so much to offer, and they're ready to be there for you. It's also called the consistency effect. Try it out. That's all for this video. What are some ways you've gotten a woman turned on? Let us know in the comments.